Now, I know I haven't done videos in a while, but I'm trying to get back into it. And I wanted to start with this video as kind of my comeback because these lights have actually fundamentally changed the way that I shoot nowadays. And I kind of wanted to just talk to you about it because this is a company I haven't really heard of in the past. It's called Hobolite. They changed their name recently to Harlowe. And full disclosure, this is not a sponsored video. I am not getting paid to do this. There's no affiliate links. I don't get any kickbacks if you purchase any of these lights or anything like that. I really just kind of want to share how excited I am about this because for over a decade, I've been shooting with strobes and speedlights, and I always stayed away from constant lights. But this company, these lights, these are getting me to like constant lights again. So in case you don't know who I am, my name is Gregory James Thelian. I am an award-winning boudoir photographer based in New York, and I specialize in helping clients feel seen, celebrated, and whole. But more than that, I am also an artist, and I love being creative in my craft of photography. And in order to be creative, you have to use lights. So I love using all different types of lighting gear, and I just use what works for me. And what's been working for me for like the past 10 years has really been strobe and speedlights. And I just love the portability of it. I love the flexibility of it. I loved how I could just pop it on like a quick little monopod or like a small light stand and just move it around wherever I wanted to. For like as long as I've been shooting, I've hated constant lights. I hated setting up these big exuberant lights that just take up so much space. And they're a hassle to put together. You have to use like heavy light stand equipment to support them. And it just never worked with the way that I like to shoot until I discovered these lights. So this company, Hobolite, Harlowe, this is a constant light. And these lights have never really been powerful enough in the past, in my opinion. Unless you got like really, really big ones. So seeing this kind of like small, compact, constant light, it got me curious. So I decided to just like spend the money, get this light, and see how it went. So now this company, Hobolite, recently changed their name over to Harlowe, and there's one massive benefit about that, and that's all the Hobolite branded stuff is 35% off right now. So that's why I kind of jumped on this light because of the extra savings that I was able to get. And if you guys do want to get any of these after watching this video, try to get one of the Hobolite ones because it's just going to be that much cheaper for you and you get a lot more with it. You know, I essentially landed on this light first. This is the Mini X. I didn't even realize that the Mini X was like also like really good in cold weather and things like that. But I ended up getting this light first, and I wasn't sure if this was going to work for my portrait photography or not. So I figured if it's not strong enough for, you know, my actual client work, I could probably use this as like a zoom light. So I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately, and I needed a little light to kind of just illuminate my face, and I figured if, you know, this could do it. However, as soon as I started using this light, first of all, when you get it, it looks and feels amazing. It's really well built. And the case that it comes in is beautiful as well. I got like the creative kit, so it came with like all different gels that are like attached magnetically, and it is just a fantastic light. But as soon as I turned it on, this is full power, this sucker is bright as hell. Like, I was so impressed with just how bright this is. And even using this at like, what was it, like 5%? I felt like was way too much. Like even this was like 5%, and this was like too much for my Zoom calls. So at that point, I was just like, awesome. I can't wait to test this out on an actual portrait shoot. But in the meantime, I still kind of wanted a better light for my Zoom calls because what was I using? It was the Aperture MC Pro. I was using that, like that rectangular light, and it was good. It got the job done. It's RGB. But I didn't like it that much. It was always kind of like a pain to set up, and I never liked the way that it looked, and it just wasn't fun. So I ended up buying the Micro because I figured this would be good for Zoom calls. And once again, using this light, I was blown away with just how powerful it is, because at 100%, you can see that's pretty damn bright. But dialing this down to about like 25%, I thought that this was going to be like the perfect light for my Zoom calls, and it had like a really cool stand for it and a little softbox even. So it was like, these lights are pretty modular also. And I really love the look, the aesthetic of it. I liked setting it up. It's fun to touch. It's fantastic. So I thought this was going to be my main light until I discovered this light. So this is the Sol 5, and this is a full RGB light. The Micro that I got, the Hobolite version, isn't RGB, but they do make a Harlowe RGB one, which is pretty cool. But I ended up getting this light. I like this because it's like MagSafe, so you could just easily attach it to your phone and it magnetically attaches, and that's pretty cool. I never really record on my phone, so there's not a huge use case for me for that, but I want to talk about this later. It also came with additional creative lens attachments, and the effects I was able to get with that were really impressive. So I kind of fell into this rabbit hole of getting these lights, and yes, I know I kind of got it just so I could have like a better light for like podcast calls and Zoom calls, but I used these on an actual shoot and the results kind of blew me away. So I guess I could just dive into what that shoot was and how these lights performed. But before I even get into that, I really just want to talk a little bit about the aesthetic of these lights, because they are gorgeous and they feel good to hold and to touch, and it's really good build quality. And like this mini light, the Micro, forgive me. So one of the things that I'm not huge on is their naming convention for these lights. Like, this is the Mini, this is the Micro, and then they have like a Mini Max, and like outside of their naming, like I actually love these lights a lot. But with the Micro, you could actually take the lens piece off, and you could attach like a different modifier to this. They have like a little softbox for this that I love, and you could actually turn this dial, and this focuses the light even more. And same thing with this. So this doesn't detach, but this focuses in, and it's a little weird. It has this button looking thing down here that actually doesn't do anything, so that's a little disappointing, but the light performs so freaking good. They're V-mount, they're battery operated, and at like full power, each light lasts like a full hour. But if you're shooting it at if you're using it at half power, you got 2 hours out of the light. And these lights have just been fantastic. All right, before I get into showing you some of the photos that I captured using these lights, I want to talk about something that no other reviewer has been talking about, at least not in any of the videos that I've seen, because before I bought this, I was watching like a ton of videos to see what I could find, and A, there wasn't that many, which is why I kind of wanted to make this video for everyone, and B, nobody talked about this one specific thing that I'm going to tell you guys about. And I think it's because a lot of these reviewers may have gotten their gear for free. They may have gotten their lights, from the company directly, but I purchased all of these on my own, and I spent like over $1,000. I could show you the receipts for that. But one of the amazing things about Harlowe is their reward system. So when you make purchases through their website directly, and I highly recommend doing that, because I wasn't able to find their lights cheaper anywhere else, so might as well buy it directly from them. But every purchase that I made, I essentially got like 10% back in like rewards. So after buying this light, I think I got like $30 back, because it was like $300, I believe. So I got like 30 back, and it's like, okay, what can I use that $30 on next? So it kind of kept me on their website almost like every single day, even to now, because after buying like everything, I have like a $50 credit just like sitting on my account, and I'm still trying to decide what could I get to actually use that credit on. So the fact that they kind of like loop you in this way, it's very addictive, and it's really just addictive because of the quality of everything. Like if these lights were crap, I would not care about, you know, the rewards that I was getting. Like I don't care if I get $20 or $30 off, but once again, just like the way that they kind of lock you into it, and just they get you excited. It's not that they lock you in, it's just you're excited about what your next purchase is going to be. You're looking at like all their products, trying to figure out what you could spend these referral points on, and it's just a really good experience. I've never really had it work so well on any other company that like I've purchased from. Even like clothing shops, like you'll see that a lot. Like if like you order clothing, like, you know, it's like, here's $5 bonus, here's $10, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But it's like when you got like a $30, $50 credit waiting for you, you got to think about how you're going to use that. So in this way, I really feel like Harlowe is kind of dangerous, because they kind of just really get you excited, and you'll be spending a lot of money with them. Like I can't believe that I spent $1,000 on just like a couple of lights and like all these accessories. However, they made me excited to make these purchases, and I don't regret it one bit, because once again, just the build quality of these is phenomenal, and the way that they perform really just exceeded my expectations. So now let me kind of walk you through what my experience was like using these lights on an actual photo shoot. So I put together a test shoot with one of my past clients, Natasha, and I was really, really impressed with just how well this one light performed, okay? Just to start off, the power of this was fantastic. It was more than enough to light up the subject, but I was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It took me a little bit to adjust to working with constant lights as opposed to always working with strobes. So it's like I did have to lower my aperture to as wide as it went, and on the lens that I was using, I think it was like 1.8. I don't have very fast glass, but at 1.8, like this performed freaking perfectly, and I think I was even able to like dial this down, but I did have to also like increase my ISO a little bit and lower my shutter speed at certain times, but I was still able to shoot at least at like 1/125th of a second. So I was still able to capture my sharp photos. But working with, like, I was surprised with just how powerful this was. So I could just set this up, had it off to the side, and I was able to go. I was able to just shoot. I didn't have to wait for any type of like recycle speed or anything like that. Obviously, when you work with constant lights, this applies to every constant light. You know, you're just working with the natural light, you're working with the light that's on, and it was just fantastic. And this being as small as it is, I was able to pop this pretty much everywhere. I have like a small little light stand, so this is pretty lightweight, that it didn't compromise the light stand at all. This supported it fully. I was able to put like a ball head on here, and it was amazing. But as good as this light is, I was really impressed, not with the Mini, not with the Micro, very much the Mini. I love the Mini. The Micro was okay, but I actually didn't use this on the shoot. What I did use was the Sol 5, okay? And once again, this light is like an RGB light, so I was able to be really creative with this. And to take the creativity to the next level, in the creative kit for this, it comes with this awesome guy, which is the magic lens, as they call it. It attaches magnetically, and let me see if you could, I don't know if you could see it on here, but what this does is it actually creates this kind of dappled light effect. And I'll show you the picture that I got with it, and I was just blown away with it. Just the fact that like this tiny little light was able to create that type of light projection, that type of light pattern. And it's such a nice, sophisticated way of doing it. This, once again, like they keep going like above and beyond and like doing things that I would never assume or even think about to do. Like with this magic lens, they could have just done this and that would have been fine. But they have another separate lens attachment for here that kind of creates like a wavy water like pattern effect, which is really cool. The inside of here has these other little mini kind of light modifiers, if you would, because this will just adjust the pattern even more. So you could really dial it in even further, and to dial it in even more, this extends. Like, how crazy is that? Like, why? Like, I didn't need it to do that, but it does it. And what that does is it will actually kind of like soften the focus of it. So if you felt like the design was maybe too sharp, adjusted the focus like that, I found it made it softer. Am I right? Yeah. So yes, like doing it like this was like a nice sharp effect, but then dialing it down like that makes the light even softer. So it's just crazy that like they go into that depth on even just like such a small, tiny little light. And I was so blown away with this. I used this in several of the shots that day because it was just so much fun. And that's what I really like about these lights, kind of like more than anything. It's fun to use. And that means everything to me. If the gear that I'm using, if the lights that I'm using, I'm actually excited to use them, I'm going to use them more. And that's what you're really kind of paying for here. Because yeah, this was kind of expensive. It was an early Christmas gift that I gave to myself, but I was just blown away with that. And I even used it on like one of my newer shoots too, which was freaking amazing and so much fun. But the other thing that kind of came with this, which is what I use for my Zoom calls and podcasts, is this nice little tripod for it. So once again, that's cute. That looks stylish. It's got a little ball head on it so you could angle it. And then it's mag safe, so it just attaches magnetically, and that's all well on its own. That's cute. That's a nice little stand for it. But I was surprised because it actually extends. Like, I did not expect that to do that. So I could actually use this fully, like with my laptop up. This extends over the laptop and it lights me perfectly for all of my calls. And I love this little light. It's probably like my favorite light from them so far that I've been playing with. And I just love the creativity behind it. I love being like, any tool that allows you to use it in multiple ways is something that like I will throw money at and use in every single way possible. So the fact that I could use this so creatively, I just love. What else was there about this light? There was something else I wanted to mention and I forgot what it was, but it's just so cool. It's such a neat little light. Okay, yeah, instead of me talking about all the good things, let me tell you the bad thing about this light. It took me a while to get used to it, but once again, it's an RGB light. And you could adjust the colors through the back of it, but you could also adjust them through the app. So if you download the app, you could actually control all of these lights through the app, control the power, control the settings, control everything, and it works amazingly. The app is super responsive. I kind of hated the app for like the aperture light that I was using because it was always a pain to like connect it. These, you just turn on the light, you turn on the app, and it's good to go. Like, it connects. Sometimes I might have needed to reconnect once or twice, but that hasn't happened to me lately. So it's been performing really well. But the thing that I don't like about this light is the touch dial to kind of like change the colors. In one way, it's good because I thought you could just kind of like touch and like change the color like that, but you can't. You have to actually touch and hold. So once you kind of get that down, it works. It is pretty responsive, but I guess just because of the circular shape of it, I figured I could just like dial it in like that. And I guess you can, like, it's a little wonky. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this is a little wonky. It's not as responsive as I would hope. The app definitely is a lot more responsive, but this does get the job done. So if you don't have like your phone up and you need to change the color on it, you can change it easily. I strongly suggest you save the instruction manuals for these lights, mainly because there's extra features that you probably never realized about them. But I could also change the color temp if I'm doing it. Yeah, so I could change the color temp, and then you change the brightness with this dial up here. And this light also has a boost mode, so for 30 seconds it'll give off like a more intense light. I'm probably never going to use that mode, but the fact that it's there is awesome. And again, it's just a lot of creativity that you could do with this light. So I've been having a blast with it. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I've remembered now is I wrote a review for this light on their website, and then they ended up featuring that review in their newsletter. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it's like I got an email from them talking about this light, and it was my words. And I was like, oh, sweet, that's pretty cool. So I was happy to see that. And I'm just thrilled with these lights. So, you know, here are some of those pictures again that I took during that shot, that photo shoot with Natasha, and I was just blown away with it. These are so small, so portable, and even with Sol, I'll put up the image. There's like one of the shower shots that I did, and all the shower shots I did with the Sol 5. Like I was really impressed with the light coming out of this and how powerful this actually is. So once again, all of these are really great lights. One last thing, because I can't stop talking about this light. Okay, not many people will use this. I assume some females will use this, but what you could do with this light, you could extend it, you could rotate it, so it has all that capability. But on the front here is a mirror. So you could turn on this light and do your makeup with it. It's a makeup mirror. Like, that's literally what it is. And it's just an extra little touch. But for those people who are going to use it, that little touch will go a long way. And I could totally see makeup artists using this light, using this just as, you know, an LED light to light your client as you're doing work on them. But you could also just pop this open, set it lower. It's pretty bright. Set it lower and do your makeup. But as you can see, like as I'm touching back here, the light is changing color. So you got to be careful with your fingers. That's like the one thing I wasn't thrilled about with this. But it does work. It's just not as responsive as I was hoping. And look at me. Oh, I'm so pretty. It's a fun light. And it changed color yet again. There you go. It doesn't do that when you have it set up. It's only changing the color because I'm touching the back with my fingers. Okay. Once I had this set, it was very stable. And the battery on this was pretty well, but I also hooked it up to like a separate battery pack also. So when it did die out, I just attached one of the mobile battery packs that I have that works really well. I think it was Anchor, and that's a dope battery pack. But these things charge USB-C, so if you have any type of power bank, you could plug it in and charge them and keep them going much longer. So I really just want to talk about one kind of last thing here, and that's why these lights and this brand as a whole feel kind of different. And they're doing so much more than just making an LED light that looks like a Hasselblad camera. Okay, let's be honest here. It's just a completely different build. It's a completely different quality than what I've seen before in other lights. And yes, listen, like this isn't like all metal. It's like aluminum and some kind of plastic, but it just, this is gonna sound crazy, but I really feel like these lights have a soul to them. Okay, and yeah, I know how ridiculous that sounds, but it's kind of similar to Apple products, where it's more than just the product itself. It's kind of like an experience, and those products essentially become like an extension of you and your personality. And Apple does that really well with like how everything is streamlined, from like their packaging to how everything actually just works. But it's like, yeah, you could totally get a cheaper laptop, or you could buy a MacBook, And it's like most people buy the MacBook because of the feeling of it, because of the build of it, because of the experience behind it, and also because of the fact that it fucking performs. Like, it works so well. I haven't been using a PC in like 20 years because Macs just work. They work so freaking well. And I get that same kind of feeling out of these lights from Harlowe. They just work. It performs well. It looks elegant. It is beautiful. But once again, that beauty is part of the design. You know, it's not an afterthought. It's really well made altogether, not just in quality, but in design, in aesthetic, in beauty. Like, these lights are literally pieces of art on their own. And yes, I know that's a little highbrow. It's kind of out there, but it's the truth. It's really what I feel from these lights, and it comes through with like every little piece from this company. Every little thing is done so intentional, so well. How modular everything is. Like this Sol light, I could pop this diffuser off and I could put on this softbox and it's magnetic, and now I have like a nice, it's a little bit bigger of a light, but even this comes off and you could put like a different dome attachment onto it. Like, it's so well thought, it's so well made, and I just don't see this from a lot of companies. You know, I've been shooting with like different strobes and speedlights over the years, and there were some good companies out there, but I've never been this impressed than I have been with Harlowe. It's like, I love my Godox lights. They're really good. They're freaking workhorses. They're very powerful, but I don't feel the same kind of pull to those lights as I do with these. And once again, this is where, like, similar to Apple products, the brand becomes an extension of you, and it shows to your clients. The client who I recently did a shoot with these was really impressed with these lights, and normally my clients don't give a shit about the lighting that I'm using, but it's like they see this and it looks nice, it looks beautiful, so they talk about it. They see this in action and they see the type of light that we're getting from the photos, and they're just blown away. And that's where the real value behind these lights are, at least in my opinion. So I've been having so much fun with these lights, and I think you guys will too. But it's something like what I'm talking about here right now, you know, it's something you're not going to realize until you get one in your hand. And I put one of these in my brother's hand. He does a lot of video work, and he ended up buying like their entire, what is it called, like the Emerson kit. It's like almost like a $4,000 light kit. And I'm actually borrowing one of his lights right now to actually light this video. So I'm using the Max 80 to light this video, and that's another amazing light. Hopefully I could do review videos of all these lights and like really go in depth, but the main takeaway here is it makes your job so much easier to do. It gives you much more portability, much more flexibility, and it just, like, you feel it, like you feel this connection to the actual product, just like you would with a lot of different Apple products, and it keeps you using it. So that's kind of like the main takeaway from this video. If you like any of these, if you like anything that I showed you, anything that I've been talking about with these lights, there's a link to their website in the description. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully there'll be more to come. I want to do more in-depth reviews of these lights. I want to go through some of the bigger lights also, but once again, like, it's just fantastic. I can't recommend these enough. And again, I just love holding it. Like, it feels so good, and it will make you feel good holding it, and it will make you feel more creative. So essentially, like, the tool that makes you enjoy using the tool is really the tool that you want. So as photographers, we have a lot of different options when it comes to lighting, but go with the ones that you enjoy using. And I enjoy using these so freaking much. These are so much fun, and I I love it.